Hi, everybody, and welcome to this session of the HPC on AWS Global Conference 2020. My name is Nathan Stornetta, and I'm a Senior Product Manager here at Amazon Web Services. And I'm joined here today by Chris Peters from Intel. And today we're going to be talking through with you how it is that you can increase your HPC performance using this Intel Select solution that we're announcing today that's built on top of AWS ParallelCluster, an orchestration tool for your HPC workloads in AWS. To give you an idea of what we'll be covering today, we're first going to be talking through some of the many benefits that exist from using an Intel Select solution. Next, we'll talk through some of the core components that make it possible for AWS ParallelCluster to deliver the kind of performance that our customers expect from these Intel Select solutions. And then finally, we'll be giving you some information on how it is that you can start today to use your own Intel Select solution with AWS ParallelCluster.
Nathan, thank you very much for having me today. It's really exciting to be out here and announcing a partnership between Intel and AWS around the solution that you're bringing to market. One of the things that really got Intel moving forward down a path of the Intel Select Solutions program is something I talk a lot about. It's been over a decade around the need for and benefits of digital transformation. And we talk a lot about the new normal in the midst of this pandemic. And one of the things I continue to find is the new normal is even faster transformation and need for digital transformation. And I see that cloud services provide a really unique opportunity for organizations. There's this recent Fortune study that was done that talked about, in midst of this pandemic, when the virus seems to be kind of slowing down the way we interact in businesses, the need for technology transformation, the pace of that just continues to get faster and faster. And one of the things that we see in response to that, and this is backed up by this McKinsey quote, is that what businesses are looking for is the ability to move quickly and drive and find the right types of technology solutions to drive their business forward. And cloud is becoming an integral and more important part of that equation as we move forward. Nathan, do you see the same types of things at AWS?
I think you're exactly right on, Chris. We see exactly the same thing from our customers, and that's one of the really core value propositions that we like to say that we can offer well. We think that by using the cloud, our customers are able to just deliver innovation to their customers at an even faster pace. And that digital transformation is, it's happening in all kinds of places, but we definitely see it happening in HPC as well.
Yeah, we see the same thing. And when we at Intel, launched this program and the brand of Intel Select Solutions, it was about 3 years ago, we saw that embracing that transformation requires a lot of tough choices. What we were finding is as the rate and pace of technology options were increasing, that was actually placing, while more opportunity for business leaders and data center managers, it was also creating additional complexity of how to choose around how to pick what technology and solutions around different workloads. I like to say that we're no longer in a very homogeneous data center infrastructure model. People are looking for very specific solutions to specific problems around different workloads. And then there's a lot more choices today around where do you place those workloads. Is it the cloud? Is it on-prem? Is it a hybrid deployment model? And then as business leaders are looking to harness the data that they are creating and utilize that, how do you deploy that in infrastructure that can best utilize that for capabilities to make better business decisions? So what Intel did in partnership with a lot of the industry is we created the Intel Select Solutions program. And what Intel Select Solutions are they workload optimized recipes that are jointly created around foundational and emerging workloads that are critical to many businesses today. What we do is we work to co-engineer these recipes or configurations at a very high performance and high price performance capability so that when users are looking for and finding a select solution, they know they're getting a quality capability for high performance, price performance, and security built on the latest hardware and software tools that are out there in the industry. And finally, what we do is we partner with the ecosystem and for partners who choose to go and do a level of engineering and qualification beyond kind of what might be standard of just availability and of certification and validation, we verify that that solution provider has met or exceeded a performance minimum. Our goal and mission here is to help our organizations and customers leverage our benefits and the engineering work that we've done over the past several months, so they have to re-spend their time. So we spend months so you don't have to, starting from a different point or going backwards. Our Intel Select Solution portfolio today at Intel covers across 33 different workloads or recipes across the current generation of products as well as last generation of products. And we have over 140 partner solutions that have been verified as Intel Select across key workloads like artificial intelligence, analytics, hybrid and multi-cloud, the networking and edge for communication service providers, security, and what we're here to talk today about is high-performance computing. Intel has 3 workloads underneath our high-performance computing portfolio: a simulation and modeling workload, a genomics analytics, and a converged platform that covers HPC and AI. You can see some of the partners we have across our portfolio, but what makes me most excited today is to be able to announce the partnership we have with AWS, here with Nathan, around the AWS ParallelCluster as the first cloud service provider to offer an Intel Select solution. And what this means to end customers is you could follow a traditional HPC path and do a lot of customization and try to build your own and look at custom workloads, custom use cases, figuring out the technology recipe, who do you want to work with, which can be a long path, but it may be the right path for you. Or if you're in the need for something that's high quality, high capability, there's a fast path now available with AWS ParallelClusters and Intel Select solutions. And what you'll be getting with this solution is you're going to be getting predefined system-wide tuning for high performance around a simulation and modeling workload, and verified performance across several industry standard benchmarks that are related to the high performance computing environment. And with that, Nathan, I'd like to turn it over to you to talk a little bit more about the ParallelCluster solution.
Thanks, Chris. I really like what you've just said about these Intel Select solutions, that they are going to help customers cut through some of the many options that could otherwise stall them, right? And I think that that philosophy is completely consistent with what it is that our ParallelCluster product is all about. Like you've said, Chris, Intel Select solutions accelerate the process of helping customers get the right product that works for them and cutting through all of the complications and options for something that will work for something like, in this case, a simulation and modeling workload, using the right kinds of benchmarks that will matter to our customers. So whether you're an enterprise HPC department that's spending millions of dollars a year on computing, or a single researcher with an important problem to solve, all of our customers are entitled to a solution that delivers great technical performance and is easy to set up and use. And that's one of the core benefits that we really see from ParallelCluster, like I said. Not only is ParallelCluster something that's going to be easy for customers to use and as a tool for managing their clusters, but it's also going to provide them with access to automatic resource scaling that can be where their cluster can be scaled up and down on demand, as well as a really seamless migration path to the cloud.
Yeah, Nathan, I really agree. I think one of the things that we've seen at Intel is a shift or a willingness of businesses to move their high-performance computing environments to clouds, making it a much more attractive proposition than it was even over the last several years. And some of the things that we've seen to some of our research and end customer engagements are that ability to realize business results very quickly, whether it's a steel manufacturer that's reducing that lost steel in their environment, or other manufacturers reducing design time or reducing design costs, reducing time to market around a supercar manufacturer. There's just a lot of different opportunities for end customers to take advantage of a solution like ParallelCluster.
Absolutely. I think you've done a great job of outlining a lot of the different kinds of benefits that our own customers have really seen from using ParallelCluster, and that we think that they're going to see from using the Intel Select solution version of it too. So as part of this certification process that we've gone through in our partnership with Intel, we've really put a lot of work into thinking through what are the core components that we want ParallelCluster to be able to deliver to all of our AWS customers, so that they can ensure that they have the right kind of setup to meet their needs. Chris, would you mind just like maybe briefly talking through kind of that process that we've gone through together?
Yeah, and as I mentioned, this one definitely did take us, a couple months. All cloud instances are not created equal. And so, in our deep collaboration we did with AWS is we worked with you to understand, which of the instances that AWS offers to its end customers provide that compute performance that's in our Intel Xeon scalable processors, as well as those instances that are taking advantage of the optimized HPC libraries that Intel has, embedded in our products, and how Amazon Web Services has brought those to life in your solutions.
Yeah, thanks for that. In addition to all of the things that you've mentioned, right, with our with certain instances that are really tuned for these kinds of simulation and modeling workloads, we also, use ParallelCluster as part of the solution, right? We've ensured that we're using ParallelCluster with some of AWS's own innovations too that we offer, such as Elastic Fabric Adapter, for the purpose of scaling HPC workloads and reducing latency and communication steps between nodes, as well as our own high-performance computing managed file system that's Amazon FSx for Lustre. So all of these different components that, like Chris, you've mentioned, that I've mentioned, are really key in ensuring that we get the right kind of performance when customers are using ParallelCluster for HPC.
And Nathan, you bring up a really interesting point is, when we build the Intel Select Solution, those recipes, that is a baseline minimum standard. And the discussion you talk about your Elastic Fabric and adapter and the networking environment and the FSx for Lustre are all very highly differentiated capabilities in the marketplace that Amazon Web Services have built on top of our baseline. So I think it's a really, really compelling offering for your customers.
Thanks for that, Chris. I totally agree, right? That it's the combination of these different factors that are, so important in getting that right kind of performance. Now I just want to briefly detail some of these like core components that we mentioned in this previous slide that make it possible for ParallelCluster to achieve those performance standards that Intel expects all of its Intel Select solutions to uphold. And I'll start by briefly just mentioning these Amazon EC2 compute instances that are enabled by Intel. We've certified 3 particular Intel instances for use with our ParallelCluster Intel Select solution. And all 3 of these instances are powered by custom Intel Xeon scalable processors and give you the choice of a variety of compute characteristics to choose from. You can choose C5N instances for your compute optimized workloads, M5N for a balanced instance with a higher memory per core ratio, and R5N instances that cater towards your truly memory intensive workloads. And all 3 of these instances are enabled with the next generation AWS Nitro system that uses AWS's innovative reimagination of virtualization, combining both hardware and software components. These instances are essential to meet the bar for an Intel Select solution when it comes to its standards for compute and memory.
And Nathan, when you describe the different kind of sizing and capabilities, one of the things that really I think speaks to me is that even instances not all are created equal, and that there's specific reasons why you choose one or the other. And I know one of the things that AWS has done in partnership with Intel is you're working to make it easier for customers to find the right instance, and as they get access to that instance, you immediately get access to the capabilities that we've built together around the verified select solution. So I think what you guys have done to identifying which instances, help people choose what's the right workload for me, what's the right instance for me, what's the right capability for me, and make it easier for them to choose has just been fantastic.
Thanks for that, Chris. Moving on to the next component that we've highlighted here that enables this kind of performance that our customers expect from an Intel Select solution. We have Elastic Fabric Adapter. An Elastic Fabric Adapter is an AWS proprietary network interface that increases the scalability of workloads to hundreds or many thousands of cores through several different mechanisms. 2 that I'm going to call out here specifically are the kernel bypass that reduces latency as nodes communicate with one another, as well as the scalable, reliable datagram protocol that allows packets to move across multiple equal cost paths simultaneously while handling congestion control and out-of-order packet delivery. Both of these changes are absolutely critical within cloud networks to ensure that your workloads can scale and communicate with as tight of communication as possible. And it helps to dramatically lower the cost of this communication when you have compute instances in the cloud. And it's these tools that have really, we've seen as we work together, Chris, make it possible to meet the bar that Intel sets in terms of latency and bandwidth. Finally, there's Amazon FSx for Lustre, which is AWS's fully managed file system service based on Lustre, which is a popular open source parallel file system designed for these kinds of compute-intensive workloads. FSx for Lustre includes a POSIX-compliant file system that can scale to thousands of clients, millions of IOPS, and hundreds of gigabytes of throughput per second. And like EFA, as well as the Intel instances that we've highlighted, it's essential for us to achieve the high performance standards for IO and storage that are fitting of an Intel Select solution.
That scalability and capability, Nathan, is just absolutely incredible. And I think that's one of the things that made us really excited at Intel to be working with AWS and co-branding your solution with the Intel Select badge. I think it really brings a lot of capability for users and gives a lot of confidence and performance to drive their business forward.
Yeah, thanks for that, Chris. We've seen a lot of customers do some really amazing things with FSx for Lustre. And we think that it gives them a unique level of flexibility in being able to build up these kinds of file systems on demand, including inside of ParallelCluster. Now that you understand all of the benefits that you can get from an Intel Select solution and how it is that AWS ParallelCluster is able to achieve that kind of technical standard that Intel Select solutions require, we think we'd invite you to go ahead and get started with AWS ParallelCluster and give it a try today. Thanks to the cloud and your ability to scale up a cluster on demand, you can go ahead and get started with this cluster in minutes and go from creating your first AWS account and not necessarily knowing anything about AWS to deploying and managing one of these high performance computing clusters on your own with all of the benefits of the Intel Select solution that Chris and I have been able to talk to you about today. You can go ahead and use this QR code on this page to visit our GitHub repository to learn how to get started today.
Nathan, I am so excited that that we can jointly deliver this type of capability with that type of speed into customers looking to solve business problems today, especially in this environment. And I want to thank you for your partnership. It's been great working with AWS on this. When I heard earlier this year that you were interested in working with us, it really was a pretty significant milestone event within our program. And I think now we've got a milestone opportunity for end customers. One of the things we like to say, and underneath our tagline, is Intel Select solutions are fast, easy, and optimized. And I think we have really been able to jointly deliver on that promise to help customers transform their business at a pace they wouldn't be able to have done before.
Absolutely. And thank you, Chris, for joining us today, as well as for all of your participation that you've provided as we've worked together to deliver this solution to our customers. That's it for today. Thank you for all of your time. We'll be sticking around for some question and answers after this presentation as well.